So I'm looking at my notes right here, and I have about a handful of new topics I've never talked about in another video because this video is updated for 2023. There are new incentives with the EV tax credit coming very, very soon, and there's new rebates plus some free supercharging miles. But how much is a Tesla, and can you afford one with all of these costs in mind? Let's go over exactly that in this video. I do want to add an update to the app just came out to show us Tesla owners how much we've spent over the past 12 months on supercharging versus things like charging at home. So this will be important so you know if I'm going to charge at home or I'm going to charge at a supercharger, how much I spent on my 12 months of supercharging. So let's kick off this video. And of course, I have to mention there's a lot of competition on YouTube, guys, especially for Tesla channels. It seems like they pop up every single day. Please consider subscribing. I really am trying to grow the channel and hopefully do this full-time one day. So let's get into this new December update of $3,750. $3,750 if you take delivery right now in December of 2022. Plus, there's a brand new 10,000 miles of free supercharging. But this is an important fact. I have over 10,000 miles of free supercharging from Tesla's previous referral program. Let me tell you if this is a good deal or not. The short answer, something I've never seen other channels talk about with this new incentive. Are you going to use 10,000 supercharging miles? Because they do expire within 2 years. So I've had my Model 3 for about a year and a half, and I've had 13,000 supercharging miles for that amount of time. In my opinion, unless you're going on frequent road trips, it's very unlikely because I'm going to show you later in the video how much I spend over 12 months. This is brand new information. It just came out on a software update. How much charging happens at the supercharger versus your home. So number one, I have 13,000 miles of free supercharging. I'm gonna tell you, are you even going to use these supercharging miles? Because the EV tax credit, remember that big news, it's already passed up to $7,500 if you take delivery in 2023, just weeks away. But this video is about how to afford a Tesla and can you afford it. So let's just say you take delivery, that's $3,750 off of that price, plus 10,000 supercharging miles. So can you afford a Tesla if you take delivery next year? Well, you would in theory get $7,500 if you meet these income caps. So obviously one of the biggest costs to owning a Tesla, and if you're deciding, well, can I afford a Tesla, in addition to how much your monthly payment would be, I'm gonna go over what mine is plus the insurance cost in a second. But brand new to the app just came out, my 12 months of charging cost. Here's the total over 12 months. I spent $800. So this is the cool thing. If you are considering, can I afford a Tesla, is obviously one of the biggest advantages when EVs are discussed is that gas versus charging savings. And my app will calculate based on the average gas prices of your state. So it'll actually pull your regional average. I saved around $2,100 in gas, and I could have paid for the equivalent miles driven, $2,948. So I did some of that math for you. If I saved $2,148 on my yearly charging versus gas savings, that comes to around $179 savings per month versus what I would have spent on gas. And this is important because as you're deciding, well, can I afford a Tesla? I know, of course, you can't get around it. It's a brand new car. No matter what vehicle you buy, there's likely going to be some type of down payment, and don't forget the sales tax. I put down $4,500. My monthly payment is $590, and I got my car around July 2021 when my rear-wheel drive Model 3 was around $42,000. But this is really cool because when I bought the car, very few people were talking about that 12-month charging savings because this is an app update that literally just came out. So unless you're tracking it yourself and seeing the average cost for your region for gas, it was next to impossible to know how much you're saving and pass it on to people watching like you. So your savings again is around $179, at least in my case, based on the miles driven per month. I'm going to interrupt this whole conversation around numbers. I just want to put that aside for a second. I want to take a pause on that. I want to ask you, how much do you think the normal Tesla owner charges at your house versus supercharging in percentage wise? 75% at my house to 50-50, maybe supercharger at my home. Take a guess right now. According to my last 12 months of charging, I have charged, and this is very common for Tesla owners, something to think about as you're calculating, well, am I going to pay more at a supercharger, or how often am I going to charge at my house? I spent 93% of my charging trips charging at my house. And that's better because it's cheaper, it's very convenient, you wake up every morning with a full tank. But let's get back to the numbers because of course we're trying to figure out, can you afford a Tesla? So going back to the numbers, you can go on Tesla's website, plug in some numbers, and it'll tell you based on your down payment, current rates, and so on, how much your monthly payment would be. But if you were unaware, it is kind of in the fine print, if you will. Beneath that is the extra cost. This is brand new. I have not talked about this in a cost breakdown video. Now you have to pay for that mobile adapter, that mobile charging connector. It's now $200. They have actually discontinued the mobile connector from being included in your Tesla. So I just want to let you know. Also, there is one more thing that is an upfront cost, and that is, of course, installing your actual charger. So I'll just give you the short answer because I don't want to waste your time, and I know that's what you're looking for. Well, it cost me around $500 to install a NEMA outlet. It's called a 1450 NEMA outlet. You can go on Tesla's website. You can find an electrician that's certified to install this via Tesla, and you can plug in your zip code, and there you go. You have a few electricians. You can also buy a wall connector, which in itself is $500. Plus you have to pay to have that installed. Now this charges your vehicle a little bit faster than a NEMA outlet, which is a generic high appliance outlet used for dryers and things like that. And this wall connector in itself, again, is $500. I mentioned it in another video, but do not forget when you're thinking about, can I afford a Tesla, the state rebates, and again, that federal EV tax credit rebate. The state rebates here in Pennsylvania can give you back thousands. I think it's $2,000 to $3,000. So look on the Tesla website and make sure after you take your purchase, you follow the instructions if a rebate is available by the state. Last but not least, I want to leave you with this. I told you the monthly cost, $590 of my rear wheel drive, some of the upfront cost with that charger, cable, and the actual charger itself. We also talked about this. Charging costs, now new to the app, owners can see their past 12 months of charging cost. Again, I spent $800, which is an average savings around $179 per month. Since you made it this far in the video, I'm going to leave you with this. By the end of the year, December 31st, 2022, the IRS is going to tell us which Teslas qualify and for how much. The full $7,500 credit or half, $3,750, depending on the battery components and minerals. That stringent rule on which cars get how much of that EV tax credit. They did tell us by the end of the year that announcement will be released. So to hear that, and of course, if you gained one piece of knowledge in this video, please make sure to subscribe. I'm hoping to do this full time one day, and there's a lot of channels out there, so I would really, really appreciate it. And so that I know you're out there watching, make sure to drop a like. Again, this is Matt from Frunk to Trunk. We will see you in the next video.